Hello, hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I want to explore a little bit more about the Pro widgets found in the Elementor design builder. I've already got a video on the basic widgets. These are the widgets that are provided as part of just the general install. There is no fee for these particular ones. Elementor is a plugin that you can install on your WordPress website. But there are some additional features in Pro when you do upgrade, and I wanted to explore a little bit about what we can do with those. So if you do, we are a web development company. We do build WordPress websites with Elementor, and if you do get a website from us, we will install the Pro version of Elementor for you. So it comes complete with our packages, but I wanted to kind of explore a little bit more on what each of these does, because there's some really, really cool features in here. So I'm just going to go in order here. First, we've got posts. So if I drag over posts, what this lets us do is actually choose posts from our WordPress, like from our blog section. So posts are what WordPress calls blogs, basically, or what we might know as blogs. But posts can be used for other things too. Sometimes there's custom categories that are developed. Web developers can actually program specific things to use posts in a different way. But in this particular case, we're going to keep it simple and just consider it part of our blog. So what you can see here is when I drag this over, it automatically created this grid for me. So it's got the featured image, it's got the titles, a description. Now I have a lot of controls here. So you'll see here the skin, it says is classic. I can change that to cards, which is one of our favorites here, cards. I can also choose full content, which means it'll show the whole thing. We don't want to do that here on the listing. I can choose how many columns I want to show up. So by default, it has the 3 columns here. I can change it to 2 columns if I wanted those to show up larger, right? And then how many posts per page. So in this particular case, like if I was using this on my home page, I might only want 3 posts just to go 1 row across. But in this case, if it's a particular category page I'm trying to set up, well then I can have even more available. So show the image, yes or no. So if I didn't want it to show images for some reason, then I could pull those off. But in our case, we do like to show the image. And then I have some additional features here. So, I don't want to get too far into every detail that there is, but just wanted to show you basically what this particular feature does, okay? So we have a lot of different things, how we want to separate it. Do we want to show the date in the comments? Do we want, have it say read more? Do we want it to say see more? I mean, there's so much we can do here in with the styles and how this all lays out, some advanced features on formatting, but you can see just right out of the gate here, it's a pretty useful little feature. Makes it look nice and tight, and everything is very easy to use. So that's one really cool feature in Pro. So the next one here is Portfolio. Another really cool feature here, because Portfolio allows us to actually choose same thing where we can display it. You see how it does this here instead of now this is still pulling technically from our category, but that's an option here where to choose the images from, or where to choose the content from. But this gives kind of a different view. So it's a portfolio view instead, which is more work really well with maybe photos, photographer site or some other kind of creative. But that's a really nice feature again that we can kind of dial in and use different elements there as well. So let's pull that one out. All right, then we have gallery. So gallery is just as it sounds. It's like a photo gallery here. And then I can choose what images I want to show up. So if I just click the little plus button, let's say I want to choose let's just kind of choose a few different ones. Hold on, let me get that one off. Let's choose this one, this one, this one, right? So I'm just kind of choosing a bunch of random sites here. So create new gallery. So now I have the option to give captions, everything else there too. Just for the purpose of this, I'm going to make it a little quicker. And there you go. Check that out. Little gallery. So click on each image. It gets bigger, scrolls through. Again, guys, built right in. Just a nice little easy drag and drop feature. Again, I can go up here and change, how much space do I want in between them? How many columns, rows, which, how do I want them organized? Do I want them full width or boxed? I mean, just so many different options here that, you can really lay this out and design this any way you want to go. It's a pretty cool feature, as you'll see most of these are. All right, so let's pop out of that one. Forms. Now, these are actually really cool because the forms, WordPress by default does not have forms installed. So you can use something like Ninja Forms or WP Forms, something like that, where you can install them and build forms. In Elementor, they really come out a little cleaner, a little nicer, in my opinion. And so we like to use these forms because, again, we have a lot of control over how they work. What's even cooler is that if you have something integrated like WP Fusion or something like that, we can actually connect these forms to third-party like CRMs and have it do additional features. So that's a really, really cool thing. But you'll see how easy it is to go ahead and add, new content, what kind of forms. We can add the reCAPTCHA also, which is really cool to kind of help reduce the spam. A lot of really, again, functional features here, right, that just seem super easy to use. Where do we want it to email? What do we want it to say? I get to format all of that however I like it. Really cool feature. Again, as part of the Pro version, it is just using these forms. Super simple, but super effective as well. All right. Now login. So these would have different, this would be like your WordPress login. So if you have a website that has maybe subscribers or contributors or something like that, there's a cool little feature. And again, I can design this. That's why this is really nice. By default, it just kind of has a simple layout, but I can change the form fields, what the input types are like, what do we want the button to say? Do we want it large, big, anything like that, or large, small, or extra large. Some additional options here on, after they log in, do we want them to go to this page or, those types of things. So a lot of really cool features, again, built right in that otherwise we wouldn't know how to program. This isn't like just a default simple action, right, for me to just set this up if I don't know how to develop web pages a little bit more, specifically. So again, another really cool feature is the forms. The login. So then we have slides. Now slides is one we really like. I've already done another video on slides specifically because it's a really cool feature, again, to kind of help add some dynamic element to the page, as well as just feature things that are important. So whether it's upcoming events, maybe in real estate you have open house, something like that, you're able to control all these functions and see them slide through. It just adds a lot of, again, engagement to the site. So really cool and easy features. It's just as simple as choosing which image I want, what do I want the actual thing to say on it, what style, do I want to give it color-wise, those types of things. So again, so simple, so easy, and extremely effective. All right, nav menu. So navigation menu is basically, we use obviously nav menus up here at the top, okay? So what you're able to do here is choose which menu it is, but you can have second sets of navigation if you find that helpful. So it's a really cool feature because, again, it's one thing to have it up here, available on all pages, but it might make sense to have it on maybe like even your 404 page, like someone comes into the page and or they try to visit a page on the site that's not there. You can give them the navigation right here in the body of the content. So really cool, easy feature. Again, usable up here in these sections, down in the footer if you want to repeat the navigation down in the footer. Like I said, just makes it really easy to drag and drop and use that feature wherever you need it. Animated headline. So again, another cool little feature. Again, these are just marketing type of styles, right? These are different things that allow us to give a little more character and creativity to the page. We don't want to overuse all of these features. The more we add to the page, the more load time, the more code. But in general, this is, again, really easy. If you're just trying to call attention to something or point something out, you're very easily able to define kind of how we want this to work, right? You can do curlies, you can do underlines. Just cool little, right? Like, it's just built in, just really easy, right? So, get creative with this. That's why I like these types of tools. It allows us to get a little more creative and say, what are we trying to do? How can we point this out and give it just a little bit more attention so that we know our visitors are seeing it and getting the action or getting the point across of what we want. So really cool feature there. All right, hotspot. So hotspot has one of these where you're able to, pull that in. You can choose to kind of show. The idea of the hotspot is just to, point something out. So if I have let's pull up media. Let's go back in here. All right, so let's do. So these are tooltips. So hotspots are like ways to create sections. So if I had an image and I want to click here and do this and click here and do that, that's a way to kind of build out those particular little sections that we have. So that's a really cool way. Again, change the position of where it's supposed to go. You'd have to get a little bit creative with this one to use it a certain way. Again, it's a pro feature, not something you use all the time. But it's built right into WordPress to be able to do, or Elementor, I should say, to be able to do these cool little features where I could create, basically if I click on it, then it has this, this is, this section, this area. Maybe you have a map, right? And you want to point a few things out. Or maybe you have like a picture of your store, and you've got some items in the store and you want to basically make each one available for sale, right? You could do that if you had an e-commerce store. So a lot of cool little features you can do with that. But again, you're not going to use it unless you have a very specific purpose around that. But if you do need it, again, built right in, not even a question, super easy to get set up. Price list is a really cool one because this one allows us to do basically whether it's going to be like a menu or something like that. But the reason why these particular things, it's not just this style, right? I could change the style, do things, but it makes it very easy to actually adjust everything. So, a lot of times I don't know if you've ever tried to build something like that, but, we find out like, oh, how many dots does it need? And, you try to align everything and position it correctly. What's cool about this is it does it for us. So first item on the list is the best item. See how it just kind of covers up more of the dots? It doesn't push everything else aside and drop this to the other side. It makes it really easy. I can add images as well if we're talking about certain like products or something like that, right? You can have an image in there, so you can have like this could be for maybe a salon even, where you could have different features. You show nails, you show hair, you show different things. So again, very easy to manage and manipulate on your own. Now, sometimes you might not have all the right ideas of what you want to do here, but this, working with a company like ours, for example, when we set up the site and you tell us what you're looking for, like we get this all set up and we put it all in place, we get it all dialed in for you. And then if you just need to make edits, you can see how easy it is to go in here and make edits, right? Maybe you're not sure if this fits the right way, or you don't want this to be a certain style or whatever. Well, we can get all that handled for you, get that foundation laid. And then you can, come in here and just edit it, right? Add more things, change things around without always needing someone else to call and do it for you. So we're here to help, of course, if you still need us, but it is nice to have that feature to be able to do that on your own as well. So another cool feature there to take advantage of. All right, and pricing table. So pricing table is different than the pricing list, of course, because pricing table is more of a side-by-side. So if you check these out, let's say, for example, we've got a header, we've got pricing, okay, features, right? List item 1, 2, 3, see all that? But we also can add, check this out. So I can copy it, paste it, right? So I can do things like that if I want to stack them. If I want them side by side, let's see where my options go for that. My pricing table, hold on. There's another feature. I haven't built this one in a minute, but basically these can, oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So duplicate, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So let me pull these ones out. Don't need the extra ones there. But you can see how easy it is just to add these different options down here too. So you can do a cool little pricing table. Delete those extra ones here. Awesome. Okay. And then you can have your different options. So you see you've got the little banner ad. So you got the pricing here. That's what updates that. Is it monthly, annually, one time, whatever you want to say there. Then you've got your features. So you list the different items on the features. And then you've got your, what they call the footer. So just, if there's additional information, click here to learn more or buy, that kind of thing. And then there's even the ribbon, which is really cool. So you can kind of just type some text in there. So again, really cool way. It looks like designed, it looks fresh and laid out nicely. We used to just have to do these in images. I mean, it was so hard years ago to get things to line up a certain way. Now you have just this editor, lets you jump right in here, add these features, make it super easy to feature whatever it is that you need on your website. Super cool. Love that. Love that there. So, all right, Flipbox. Okay, so again, kind of like the slider where you have the option, but it's a cool little, again, just some interactiveness. I mean, if it makes sense, right? Some people find this a little confusing, hard to manage or read or something. That's fine. Again, you don't want to overuse these features, but if you wanted to do a cool little, door or click here or check these or something like that, you're able to add this little option here. Super, like I said, just built right in, super easy, not difficult at all, and available right in the Pro Widget features. All right, so let's get rid of that one here. And all right, call to action. Pretty straightforward on the call to action. Again, it's call to action, right? The idea is that we're trying to pull attention to it. Someone hovers over it. You see this image kind of pulses in and out. I can choose something different here. Let's choose really just anything, right? So this is the heading. This is what it is. Click here to do that. So like instead of using like the slides, if you don't have 3 different things that you're trying to do, well, this is a nice easy call to action we can use as just a way to feature one particular thing. So like in real estate, for example, we might want to feature a market report, right? So I might have some sort of data, trend where you see some houses back here. So that might work. And I'd put, don't miss the latest market report, click here, something like that. But again, as I roll over it or as an end user, I hover over it, it has this cool, nice little pulsing feature. And again, it's very engaging. There's also things you can do, ribbon here. So you can do the ribbon there. Obviously, you have to kind of minimize your amount of text that you're going to use. The position of it, do you want it on the left? Do you want it on the right? I mean, lots of different features, again, just built right in here. You can play around and make it work just about any way you want it to work. That's going to be just right for you. All right, let's pull that one out here. So media carousel. So media carousel is another cool one. Same thing here where you create kind of rotating images. So media can be a lot of different things. In this case, we're referring to images, right? Different photos, but you could also do videos. So if you had videos that you're uploading, you could put the video link in there, a YouTube or video link. So if you're doing a carousel of videos, by default here we've got 3, but maybe you wanted to have 9, but you don't want to lay out 9 on the page, right? So this is a way for us to actually have a little bit more control, give that little scrolling effect, play around with these things. Again, see what your users like. Sometimes visitors love this depending on the site. Sometimes it's just more work, right? Maybe we'd rather just give them a click here to see more type of thing. But you'll see here that it's very easy. Again, the point is to get whatever it is that you want on the page is super simple to do so with these Pro widgets that we have access to. All right, testimonial carousel. Well, I think we get the idea of that one, right? We get to actually just put in what the testimonial is, maybe an image of the person, their name, CEO, or the name and title, and there you go, just rotates through. Again, super simple, right? I mean, this doesn't have to be overly complicated, but it has been. It's not easy to have these nice features, programmed and styled and everything else if we're not web developers. But what's really cool about these, again, is this gives us a lot of opportunity to, to make this however we want. This, I just changed image above. I want the image of the person above it instead, or image over to the right, or image to the left. I mean, again, lots of different features. We just need to put in the details, decide how we want it to work, and publish the page. It's there. It's good to go. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so reviews, table of contents. So table of contents is a cool built-in thing. This is more of an SEO type of tool because what this allows us to do is actually have sections on the page that uses the H2 tags. And basically it's creating anchors for us. And as a matter of fact, you can use H2s, H3s, H4s. H1 is reserved usually for the title of the page, the main header, but H2s, H3s, these are just different sections. And what this will do is build us, as we build content on the page, it'll pick up any of these H2s, H3s, H4s, and actually build, build that out for us. So I'll show you an example here of that on one of our real estate websites. Let's pull it up here. So let's go to, say, lifestyle. See if we have, there we go, table of contents. You see that? So it just creates this cool little feature where I can just click down and it'll go to that particular section. So really, really easy feature. Again, good for search engines, good for visitors on how they like to navigate the site, especially if you have a page that has a lot of content on it. So that's a cool built-in feature. You can get that widget usually with like Yoast or different things too, but in this case, they've got it built into Elementor as well. We've got a countdown widget. Again, super easy, really cool. You define what the countdown's for. Maybe you have an upcoming webinar or an event that you're going to do and you want to have that on there. Really cool feature that that just makes it easy to have something, again, more dynamic, built right in, available to use. Again, guys, there's a lot of these things we can, use a plugin for this, add a plugin for a slider, add a plugin for a countdown, add a plugin. But the more plugins that we have to add in, the more code that's loading on the page, the more your website's getting kind of what we call bloat, right? Where there's just a lot of extra data and stuff in there. So Elementor is a really cool thing because it really groups a lot of this together and gives us most of the things that we could ever want when it comes to laying out pages. So always a cool feature there. Share buttons. These are for social share. So again, these could be on a blog page, any particular page, maybe an event page, something like that. Super easy to configure, just to basically be able to share the page. So nothing too sophisticated there. Block quote, that's another one. It's more of a formatting thing. Kind of helps, especially if you're doing. Sometimes you could use this instead of the testimonial widget if you're just trying to do like a little shout out about a service that you're promoting. You might use something like this, but again, it's a cool little thing. It's got the little, you can choose to have these tweet icons and different things that you could do as well. A lot of cool features, like I said, if there's a need for that particular deal. Feedback button or feedback widget, we'll see. So same thing here. Again, another built-in social. You'll see a lot of those options here. Facebook comments, Facebook embed, Facebook page, right? These are all things that I can drag over that are specific to your Facebook. This is the Elementor Facebook page, but we get a lot of clients that ask us for that. Oh, I want my news feed or I want my Facebook page to show. Elementor's got it built right in. Cool little widget that we can just pull over and build in as well. So a lot of cool social features there as well. Template. Let's take a look at this one here. All right, let's choose a template. I don't know what I have. Here we go. Default header template landing page. So this is a way for us to pull in basically little template features that we have. So if we make a template in there and we want this to show up a certain way on the page, then we're able to do that. I can edit the template. Again, very specialized uses for this. If you wanted to use the same piece of content, because template's one way to do it, to have one piece of content that you change in one spot and updates in multiple places. You could do that here with these templates. We might also try using like a global widget or something. We can design a little template that way. But a cool little feature built in if you're looking to kind of streamline what you're doing. All right, check this one out. Cool, right? So this one's a little more advanced because it has, you can actually do certain file uploads and kind of give it some creative and different things like that. In this case, we have to be careful, like I said, with what all we're trying to do. But this one's got some different features here that you can scroll. It's got viewport is a viewer type thing. This one's, again, a little more sophisticated. So if you're not familiar with some of these things, again, you're not necessarily going to go in here and just go, oh, let me use that when you don't know what it is. There'd have to be a specific use for something like this. And in our case, again, you might come to us as a web development company, go, oh, I'm looking to do this. I'd like the features to be able to do that. Well, we're going to set it up for you here and make it work. And we're going to use the tools like Elementor to make it easy to edit. So that's really the key to all of this for us, is to Again, we might put some of the default and foundation stuff in place, but then you have the ability to go in and dial that in as well. A code highlight. This is just a way if you're giving actual code, that might be something more like we would do on our website. Probably not so much you on your website if you're not a programmer, not a coder. But again, this makes it look really easy to kind of show, hey, this is how you do these things. I did this on my website. Here's how you can do it. Here's the code. So it gives you the option to do that as well. Video playlists. Super cool feature here because you can actually create your own playlist. So this could be like, like a playlist you do on YouTube, but maybe you want to have it housed on your own website and you want it to be these 4 functions or these 4 videos specifically. So like we have a YouTube channel at Ballen Brands and we do videos like this one. This is where it's published, of course. And so, but I might want to do like a 4-part, even though this is an Elementor video and I'm going to have it in my Elementor playlist on YouTube, I might want this specifically in a certain spot. Maybe I want to learn all about Elementor widgets, and I only want on a page, the 4 videos I did based on the Elementor widgets. So that's something to think about too. Again, really cool feature because I can just pull right in what each of those videos that I want to be. How many of them do I want? How many in the playlist? I mean, super cool and easy feature, again, to just lay out your content. All right. PayPal button, if you use PayPal to collect payments, again, kind of seems silly almost, but these little buttons sometimes aren't as easy to generate or put on the site as you think they are. So this gives you a way you can just put in instead of going and create in PayPal and creating a button and then copying and pasting that widget onto the page or that code onto this page, you can actually create them right here. What kind is it? What's the cost? What's the price? This all works directly with PayPal and how they, how the code is generated. So basically it takes like the code that PayPal would generate and it lets you just generate here by filling out a few fields. So a really cool feature, again, if that's something that you're using. And then progress tracker. So progress tracker is a really cool thing because if you have, let's say, a 4-page process, this is a way to kind of help track. So if you've ever seen that when you're filling out forms, like 3 or 4-page form or something like that, this allows you to use that progress tracker up there. So another cool, like I said, really built-in feature, really only relevant to your, how you're going to use it. You wouldn't just go put a progress tracker in just because it's cool. A couple of these other widgets, you might do that just because it's cool. But in this case, you wouldn't, right? This is going to be used very specifically for something. But the good news is, again, if you're, what we like to do is enable our customers, right, our website owners to be able to like, hey, I want to be able to do this. And for us to go, oh, great, you can already do that. Here's already a tool for that. Here's the widget. Here's the how-to. Here, we put this in place for you. Here's how easy it is to edit moving forward. Like that's really what we're after as a web development company and, building professional websites. We just want things to make, to be easy, right? And make those work in a way that's easy for you to manage. Okay, we're here for you. We love to help you. We love support, that type of thing. But at the same time, we want you to be enabled and have control over all of these elements as well. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's the pro features. There's new features being added quite often, but as you can see, you got everything you need here. I mean, there's hardly anything you can't do. Again, just overall, these are really great ways to get your content out there. Make what you're doing look good, have cool features and, different elements that we can just kind of spice up the page a little more, make it more interactive, make it more dynamic, things like that. So if you have any questions on this or anything else related to Elementor or WordPress websites, by all means, you can reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.